stuck in a daydream, in paradise, that summer feeling.
We're about to embark on Drive's very first road trip through Queensland. Finally, some warmer weather. It all begins here in Brisbane, and the final destination is Noosa, a stunning playground in the Sunshine Coast. But let's be honest, the drive along the Bruce Highway is fairly ordinary, and we don't like ordinary. So we're going to take you on one of the best routes that promises some of the most amazing scenery through Australia. And the fun begins right now, because I have this to get me there. This is the BMW M240i, a sporty and stylish, muscular-looking coupe which packs a mean engine. The grumble comes from a 3-litre inline 6-cylinder turbo petrol engine, pumping out 285 kilowatts and 500 newton metres, mated to an 8-speed torque converter automatic and sending drive to all 4 wheels. In the way of kit, the M badge brings a bunch of standard highlights, including Vanasca leather upholstery heated front seats, front lumbar support, 19-inch M-Light alloy wheels, electric glass sunroof, head-up display, 14-speaker Harman Kardon sound system, and adaptive suspension. With all of these niceties and a ripper engine, I think this one will be a trip to write home about. You would have seen us drive a heap of electric vehicles already on the show, and while that is the way of the future, this packs a special engine. So for right now and the next couple of days, I'm going to soak up this scintillating exhaust note. It all kicks off in Brisbane, where we'll begin the trek north. There are a bunch of must-sees along the way, including the charming towns of Mullaney and Montville. We'll then switch from country to coast and take in the seaside route through Coolum before reaching Noosa. One of the best parts? We'll get to see plenty of the Glasshouse Mountains.
I like what I see. A boss like you need a boss like me. Daddy from the street, so he move low key. Tryna rock that mic like karaoke. Running through the strange life, chasing all them green lights, throwing up the shade for a little bit of sunshine. Hit me with them good vibes, pictures on my phone lights. Everything is so fine, little bit of sunshine.
So this entire journey will take us just under 3 hours from Brisbane to reach Noosa. And on a road trip, of course, you have the beauty of choice. So if you did want to head along the highway, yes, it might be quicker, but I can promise you that this way is so much more exciting, and we are yet to be stuck in any traffic. Not being caught on the Bruce Highway is a blessing. Not too long ago, following an incident, vehicles were stuck on the highway for up to 7 hours. No thank you. This way, we'll completely avoid the highway, hopefully any traffic, and the roads ahead will certainly be more entertaining. So why the BMW? Well, we know that this car is going to be lots of fun, and we're not just going to be stuck on freeways with adaptive cruise control on. There are some incredible driving roads along this route, and I think that this car will really be in its element. Also, it's very comfortable and packed with plenty of features, including a sunroof, which, if the weather is warm, I think I'll actually get to use it. Plus, the final stop is Noosa, and this flashy car would definitely fit in there.
With the freestyler, I got something to throw on and go on. You know I got to flow on. Select us on the radio, play us because we're friendly for ozone. But that's not us, so hold on. Tight as a rock the mic, right? Oh, excuse me, pardon.
If you don't hear this thing coming, you'll definitely see it. Finished in Thunder Night Metallic, it's not just the colour that has an overwhelming presence. Compared to its predecessor, it's lower and wider with a larger wheelbase. And while it's got its quirks, it's retained BMW's smaller, less futuristic-looking kidney grille. Let's talk more about this impressive engine. It packs the B58 3-litre inline-6 turbocharged petrol engine. BMW and this engine really are a perfect match. I can tell you that as soon as you turn on this car, it sounds delightful, and there's plenty of get up and go from get-go. Plenty of power too, 4.3 seconds from 0 to 100 claimed. And I'm not going to go drag racing, but I can tell you I've felt the power in this car, and I think that that is pretty believable. Now, the older generation was rear-wheel drive, which is a lot of fun, but can be a bit of a handful at times. This car is all-wheel drive, which is still lots of fun, but you also get that variable torque split. When you're planning a road trip, you can look at Google Maps, map everything out and see what the roads look like, which of course I did, but I have to say this is even more incredible than what I expected.
Got me dancing in my bed, so let me show it. You are exactly what I want, kinda cool and kinda not. Wanna give myself to you, yeah, we're driving down the...
We're now heading out of Daybra to Mullaney, and as soon as you get out of Daybra, I can tell you this is where the fun really begins. There's a climb, and with the climb comes some twists and turns and beautiful scenery. It also gives me the chance to do this Sport Plus mode, engage those paddle shifters and really soak it all up. I've driven a bunch of rear-wheel drive sports cars, and while yes, it is very exciting, this one is all-wheel drive. I can promise you it still delivers plenty of excitement and joy, and it's lots of fun. The thing about the all-wheel drive system in here, it has that variable torque split, and you do feel really confident heading into the tighter twists and turns. It's really sure-footed, and you know that the car's not going to step out on you.
I got my head out the sunroof. I'm blasting our favorite tunes. I only got one thing on my...
I've never really driven through Queensland before, and I have to say there are so many surprises and delights. At the moment, we're just looking out to vast countryside, but there's plenty of beautiful climbs overlooking gorgeous forests. And it's so green out here as well, plus there's palm trees everywhere, but you really don't know what to expect around each and every corner. I have seen some glimpses of the beautiful Glasshouse Mountains, but we're not far away from getting an even closer view at some of the most beautiful lookouts in Queensland.
One town we are driving through is Mullaney. 90 kilometres north of Brisbane on the Blackall Range, Mullaney overlooks the Sunshine Coast hinterland. Soak up the great bushwalks, birdwatch, but definitely take the time to take in the breathtaking scenery of the Glasshouse Mountains. And we've heard of a spot with one of the greatest views in town.
She's blood, flesh and bone, no tucks or silicone.
If you're driving through Mullaney along Mountain View Road, you'll no doubt spot this lone tree, but it's not just any tree. This is known as One Tree Hill, and it's dubbed one of the most photographed paddocks in the Sunshine Coast. Why? Well, just have a look at that.
And nothing's gonna happen.
The paddock is actually private property, so you must ask for permission to enter ahead of time. The Woods family only ask that you respect their property, make a booking ahead of time, and give a small donation, with every cent gifted to local community groups as an important way of supporting the local community. Well worth it. The Glasshouse Mountains are a series of volcanic plugs that tower above the surrounding landscape. There are 13 in total. The highest hill is named Mount Biwa, which sits at 556 metres above sea level. The most identifiable, however, is Mount Tibrogargan, which from certain angles bears a resemblance to a face staring east. The term Glasshouse Mountains was given by explorer Lieutenant James Cook in 1770, as the peaks reminded him of the glass furnaces in his home country of Yorkshire. They are so significant that they're listed on the Queensland and National Heritage Register as a landscape of national significance. Just down the road is another charming town called Montville, where we enjoyed a meal at The Edge, a prime location for a bite to eat while taking in the stunning surroundings. And you'd think that'd be a great way to end this day, but there's still one place left on the agenda. Any car can be comfortable. You have some nice bolstered seats and you have some niceties in here, and it makes it a really easy drive. But I think what BMW can be applauded for is the ride quality of this car. It's got a really cushiony ride, it's balanced, you have plenty of confidence getting in and out of those tighter turns. It's got a great turning circle, and we're going from country roads to coastal roads, but out on these harsher roads with lots of bumps, I can tell you now that this car has never felt flustered. We're finishing our day at Secrets on the Lake. Nestled between beautiful rainforest and Lake Baroon, this luxury accommodation really is the perfect destination to take in the natural beauty of the rainforest, lakes and mountains. Plus, all guests have access to the grounds, which is great for a calming walk, even better for some water sports. Okay, maybe sport isn't the right word. Turns out canoeing on your own with very little coordination isn't as easy as I thought. Something tells me I wasn't doing it right. But some rest and relaxation was much needed after a long day in the driver's seat. Must get some beauty sleep, as tomorrow will arrive at one beautiful location. If you're staying at a location like this one, it's best to not waste the day. Sunrise on the private jetty was the ultimate way to kick off the day. The story goes that owners George and Aldi had plans to build treehouse cabins back in 1984. But this was put on hold when their land was resumed to build what is now Lake Baroon, a $40 million project that provides water to Caloundra and Maroochy Shires. Their plans were only paused momentarily, however, as their good friend and neighbour offered to sell them what remained of his land after it was also partially resumed for the lake. Fast forward to today, and the couple have 11 luxury different cabins, a restaurant, gallery, and gorgeous grounds. We could have easily stayed for longer, but Noosa is calling.
I woke up with a fear this morning, but I can taste you on the tip of my tongue. Alarm without no warning. You're by my side and we've got smoke in our lungs. Last night we were way up, kissing in the back of
We stayed in a beautiful treehouse last night. I have to say, one of the best alarm clocks is being woken up by chirping birds. You know you're in Queensland when you're waking up to those sort of sounds. But anyway, we got some R&R and hit the road early because we want to spend as long as possible in our final destination, Noosa. The drive from Montville to Noosa only takes around an hour and there's only a brief freeway stint, but after that, it's a beautiful cruise with gorgeous views of Queensland's beaches.
Now, we've stopped for an iconic tree, so as if we could go past a famous fruit. This is the big pineapple. A heritage-listed tourist attraction you'll surely see when travelling through Woombye on Nambour Connection Road. The two-level big pineapple is 16 metres high and was originally opened in 1971. Thousands of tourists stop by to do, well, just this. But it's also now facilitating new attractions, such as the Big Pineapple Music Festival.
Keep on kissing my mouth and put that record on again. I don't want to hear sad songs anymore. I only want to hear love.
I feel so close to you right now, it's a force field. I wear my heart up on my sleeve like a big deal.
I have been a very happy girl getting to drive this car along this journey. Now, I've had the sunroof open for most of the time, but of course, just arrived in Noosa and the rain is coming down, just my luck. But I didn't take full advantage of the great stereo system in here because I did want to listen to the sound of the engine more. I did take full advantage of the paddle shifters. One thing to mention though, when you're really getting into the twists and turns, I would have preferred if they weren't mounted to the steering wheel because that does make things a little bit challenging, but just a small gripe. And because I was driving this car rather enthusiastically, I'm sitting at about 10.4 litres per 100 kilometres. The claimed fuel consumption is 8 litres per 100 kilometres, and I have to say that this is pretty thirsty. But other than that, I really don't have much to complain about when it comes to this BMW. It really has been an enjoyable driving experience.
Noosa Heads is known for being a surfer's paradise, as well as a sought-after place for swimming, fishing and wildlife. It's also a very sophisticated coastal town, packed with stylish boutiques and incredible eateries.
I'ma break you off, let me be your motivation to stay and give it tonight. And baby, turn around, let me give you innovation, yeah, 'cause I do it so right. You got that good, baby, don't you? Got that good, baby, don't you?
A premium car deserves a premium drive, and we certainly achieved that. Sometimes the quicker route isn't always the best, as you saw from our journey. And in keeping with the theme, I'm going to remain in the slow lane. The only question left to answer is, how long do I stay for?
We started our trip in Brisbane, and while you can take the Bruce Highway, we opted for a much more scenic route, which took us through Dayborough, Mount Mee, and up to our stop at Mullaney. Mullaney and Montville offers some of the most incredible vistas in Queensland, with stunning viewing points overlooking the Glasshouse Mountains. The final stretch took in some of Queensland's coastal beauty, and before we knew it, we arrived in the famous Australian resort area of Noosa. For more information on pricing and specifications, head to drive.com.au. Plus, get all the details for this drive by scanning the QR code on your screen or visiting us online. Next week on the show, I've got a legendary convertible. There's sunshine, snow, windy roads, and you'll even see horses. Why? You'll just have to tune in to find out. That's next week on Drive.
Keen to see some of the roads we've already driven? Well, you can download the Roads by Porsche app and perhaps tackle them yourself.